Hello and welcome to Bottom Line. Well, the crucial floor test in the BTC is slated for tomorrow. Pramod, Borbora and company will have to prove their majority on the floor of the council. While the UPPL-led alliance may not be worried about the numbers, about proving majority tomorrow, what this entire sequence of events has done is that it has once again to an extent brought Hagrama Mohilary led BPF back to the focus. BPF was considered almost down and out after the results were out, even though they were the single largest party. Despite that, the UPPL, the BJP, GSP had together formed an alliance, and also the new CEM in the form of Pramod Borbora was sworn in. But again, the BPF moved the High Court, and now we have the focus back again within a week or more of the council results. We have the focus back to BTR, politics in BTR, and also Hagrama Mohilary's call to regional parties to come together has also made the situation interesting. While tomorrow's outcome may be predictable to many, but what it has done is that it has made the run-up to the 2021 assembly polls in Assam very interesting as far as the Boro heartland is concerned. This is our assessment, but we will take opinions, views from our panelists. I am being joined today by Secretary of the UPPL, Raju Narzary from Kokrajhar. A very warm welcome to you to Bottom Line, Mr. Narzary. I also have Assistant Professor Dipak Basumatary, commentator, political commentator, professor, joining me from Kokrajhar. A very warm welcome to you. In the studios, I'll be joined in a short while by Assam BJP spokesperson, Mr. Pramod Swami. Abhinav Borbora, political thinker, will also be joining me in the studios in Guwahati. So if I can go straight to Mr. Raju Narzary first. Well, crucial floor test tomorrow. What is your assessment of things? Raj,
the assessment is, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
The assessment is very clear. It's very clear. Right now, the Honorable High Court has given a verdict. It is actually not only a verdict, actually. Our lawyer has sought for a floor test so that everything is clear once and for all. The number is also clear. Out of the 40-member house, right now, since Pramod Borbora has won from 2 seats, the vote will be only for 39 seats, 39 MCLAs. So to form a government, we need a simple majority of 20. So right now, in our hand, we have, if we exclude 1 seat of Mr. Pramod Borbora, we have 23 MCLAs, and BPF has 16. So it is very clear that tomorrow on the floor of the House, we will be winning the trust vote, and we will be forming the government, as we have already formed. Only because of the High Court's order, there is a status quo in the council.
Absolutely. Professor Dipak Basumatary, while the UPPL and alliance partners are confident about their numbers ahead of the floor test tomorrow, do you think the BPF and Hagrama Mohilary, by taking this step, have successfully again brought the focus back to them, just to announce that we are not down and out, we are not over yet?
It has to be looked at from a very larger perspective. When we have been hearing in the past few days that they are going to play. Sri Prabin Borbora, Secretary of BPF, had been saying in some news media that they are going to play a role of a strong opposition. But on the other hand, they have been fighting against the current incumbent, Sri Pramod Borbora, that the installation of his party has what is called, it has not observed the rules and regulations that that a 6th scheduled area needs to follow In a sixth schedule area, usually what happens is that the members, the elected members, they gather, they assemble together and elect or select their chairman or chief executive. But in the case of, say, Borderland Territorial Council, okay, in the past council elections, after the council elections, we have seen that they have not followed this tradition, but rather they have followed a tradition which is followed in the state politics and in the national politics, where the governor of, or where the largest party, single largest party, or the single largest coalition stakes claim to form the government. And governor or the president, for that matter, invites, okay, when he is satisfied that a certain party is able to form a government, he invites according to his discretion. So what we saw here is that this tradition was followed in the case of Borderland Territorial Council. But in the rules and regulations of sixth schedule area elections, it is rather very different. We have to know that the elected representatives are in the eyes of law, they are independent, okay, legislators or say councillors. Although they might have fought the elections on a party symbol, okay, in the eyes of law, they are actually independent, say MCLAs. And so in this case, anti-defection law does not apply. And so it needs to be seen here, what tricks that Hagrama Mohilary, Sri Hagrama Mohilary has up his sleeve for tomorrow's floor test. At the moment, it seems that the advantage is with Pramod Boro. And observing all this process, the High Court, Honorable High Court has seen that, that indeed this particular formation of government, okay, is not something which this particular, this instance has particularly gone against the existing rules written down in the law. But previously too, okay, in 2005, 10 and 15, okay, it did not follow the rules that is written down there in the sixth schedule laws. So, so what has been done cannot be undone. So, what we see here now is that how to get out of this tricky situation, to settle the matter, the Honorable High Court has ordered a floor test, and I think this is a good way out. The Honorable High Court, Guwahati High Court, as it has ordered a floor test to see who has the largest strength, who is in favor of whom. Okay, so we need to see how rules have been observed. Okay, okay, so we need to know that the rules are not the same for this sixth schedule area, and it is not the same for as it is for the assembly or for the, say, parliament.
Raju Narzary, well, the UPPL and allies are confident as far as the numbers are concerned. What do you think could be the motive behind the BPF's move? Of course, they are rightful in their approach to have approached the court, and they are in their rights to take a call on that, to pursue the matter. But do you think this can also be a last ditch effort by BPF, by Hagrama Mohilary, probably to try and see if the equations can be changed? Is it even realistic, or do you think it's just what do you call, quote unquote, harassment to the newly formed council or to the new alliance?
To my mind, I think their council has not given them the proper guidance. Actually, Honorable High Court has agreed to the plea made by our loyal Mr. Saikia that the floor test should be done as soon as possible. Otherwise, in a democracy, people will keep thinking that we do not have the numbers. But the point that we have the required number, right? We have the 24 MCLAs with us, and we need only 21 in the 40-member assembly. So going by the number, I think they should have agreed. At one point of time, the General Secretary of the opposition party has, in the press briefing, said that they will sit in the opposition and act as a responsible opposition in the council. However, since it is a democratic country and justice has to be delivered, they have gone to the court. It is their right that they have gone to the court. And now that tomorrow things will be clear and finally the UPPL, BJP and GSP government will be installed from tomorrow onwards, and there will be no more kind of politicking, there will be no more scope for horse trading, and there will not be scope for doing all those malpractices. The point that in last 17 years, the previous government has not been able to frame rules even for taking oaths, even for conducting the council assembly. That is not, that is, the onus lies with them. That is their responsibility. They should have done it. There is no rules. Even a simple autonomous council across Assam have rules to conduct assembly. But here in BTC, they could not really frame. There is actually agreed upon customs that since there is no rule being laid down to conduct the business of the assembly, they will follow the rules framed for the Assam assembly. So accordingly, we have followed the rules of the Assam assembly, and that is how, with the letter of support from all the 24 MCLS, we have submitted to the Honorable Governor of Assam. Our Honorable Governor of Assam, in his discretion, going through all the verifications and all that, have agreed to our plea, and he had directed to the Chief Secretary of Assam to deliver the oaths of office. That's how on the 15th of December the oaths were taken. But after that, the BPF had gone to Honorable High Court, which we have kind of agreed, and our council had gone and pleaded for a floor test. And that is how tomorrow it's going to be a floor test.
All right, I have been joined in the studios by Abhinav, Borbora, political commentator, and also Pramod, Swami, Assam BJP spokesperson. But of course, before I come to the studios, I would like to go back to Professor Dipak Basumatary once again. Professor Dipak Basumatary, well, Hagrama Mohilary has made a big statement ahead of the floor test. He has kind of played the regional card in the Boro heartland, even willing to join hands with the UPPL. Well, that seems to be a very, very calculative move, probably an attempt to say, okay, let's not allow national parties to get entry into the Boro heartland. How do you see that move, that statement of Mohilary?
From the surface, it seems that it is a very smart move, a calculated move. But I think regionalism is a dead horse. He is trying to flog a dead horse. It is not going to work here. So it has been a kind of a political hierarchy. And from his statement, what it seems is, I don't know where the dichotomy lies. But what is clear is that there is a lack of sincerity in his part. If he was sincere about what he has said about the fact that, he wants all the regional parties to come together to form a government and to keep the national parties at bay. Okay, remember that his own party is still a part of the Sonowal government. 3 cabinet ministers are there. So where does the dichotomy lie? So this appears to be a very insincere kind of an attempt just to test the waters, the reaction of some parties to his call for, say, united regional front. And on my part, I would say that, this regionalism card is a dead horse. In BTC or in Bodoland area or in the whole of Assam, I think regionalism card is not going to work. It is a dead horse. No point in flogging a dead horse.
Okay, this is a significant point that you've made. Raju, Narzary, well, what was the UPPL's first reaction? Were you surprised? But again, they say there are no permanent friends or enemies in politics. So, was the UPPL expecting something like this, or was the party surprised by Hagrama Mohilary's approach?
No, we are not surprised or shocked by the strategy used by Mr. Mohilary on this. They are now playing a card of regionalism. They are saying that no regional party from borderland area should ally with the national party. But the fact that from 2003 to 2015 they have allied with Indian National Congress, and from 2015 to 2020 they have allied with Bharatiya Janata Party. So what is this now that they are saying that you should not ally with any national party? So this kind of strategy, I think everybody can understand, and they should not play this kind of politics. In one hand, they are saying that the regional forces should unite. On the other hand, they have been calling up our MCLs, offering crores and millions of, I don't know, for horse trading and all that. So this kind of things will not work. Today, their leaders have even gone to BTC assembly.
Are all your MCLs intact as of now, before tomorrow? If there is that kind of horse trading going on?
These are just failed attempts. Our MCLs are not going to fall prey into, they are not going to fall prey to their dirty kind of strategies. Our people have fought for last 17 years. They were in the oppositions, and they want to give justice to the people here, marginalized people, poor people. The implementation of BTR Accord is the priority, and we want to install a corruption-free government that follows procedures, systems in a transparent and accountable manner. So power is not our sole motive. The motive is to kind of ignite a new imagination in the council government.
Absolutely. Abhinav Borbora, do you think, irrespective of whatever has happened, tomorrow's floor test may be a foregone conclusion because the UPPL and allies apparently have the numbers, they clearly have the numbers unless something dramatic happens tomorrow on the floor. Otherwise, they will surely sail through. But despite all that, again, the same question I asked to one of my panelists from the Boro Heartland. Do you think by doing this, by making this move, the BPF, Hagrama Mohilary again successfully has brought the attention back upon him?
I think these are short-term tactics to gain attention, to create some kind of a speculation. But as like you have said, if you look at the tally, the seat tally, I think you are right that it is a foregone conclusion. And I think it is also possible to look at the entire development even from the perspective of the UPPL, because if you see, ever since the UPPL stake claim to form the council government, a lot of questions were being raised regarding the legitimacy of the entire effort and whether the effort was actually fair. There were accusations of councillors being locked up in hotel rooms. There were accusations of councillors being coerced and bribed. But what happens is that with the floor test, actually, if the UPPL manages to sail through, it adds an added legitimacy to its government. And I think so for the UPPL, this can actually become a blessing in disguise, because apart from securing the people's mandate, they are now in a position to legitimize their council UPPL in yet another form and in yet another forum. And like the fellow panelists have said, one of the respected panelists has very characteristically put that regionalism is a dead horse. And many have also asked how the BPF was in alliance with the Congress as well as in the BJP, both being national parties. I would like to also add another instance. When the BPF formed the previous government, there were other non-Boro political forces and political actors back then as well, who had actually called upon Hagrama Mohilary not to align with the Congress or any of the alliance, any of the national parties, and actually form kind of a all-Boro common front. But at that point of time, even Hagrama Mohilary did not even bother to consider such an appeal, and was quite willing actually to disown these non-BPF Boro actors straight on their face. So I don't think that these kind of appeals, like the fellow commentator has said, holds any appeal, and this is a chance for UPPL, like I said, to further legitimize their stake to form the next council government.
प्रमोद स्वामी जी, क्या बीजेपी को बाहर रखना पॉसिबल है? After the results spoke for themselves. The BJP is in the entire Northeast right now in any form, whether directly or in the form of NEDA. It is there everywhere. Is it even in the interest of the people to keep the BJP out just for the sake of regionalism, जो Hagrama Mohilary भी कह रहे हैं? क्या ये possible है BJP को बाहर रखना from any part of the Northeast? Forget about Assam.
देखिए, आज उन्होंने जो कहा है, लेकिन वो सिर्फ कहने के लिए कहा है। अगर वाकई में वो सीरियस होते तो वो अपने 3 मंत्रियों को कहते कि आप पहले इस्तीफ़ा दो और मैं नेशनल पार्टी के साथ में मैं आने वाले समय में अलायंस नहीं रखूँगा। ये बात तो उन्होंने नहीं कही। और उनका 17 वर्ष का अगर आप रिकॉर्ड उठाएं तो पहले उनका अलायंस कांग्रेस के साथ था और आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी के साथ उनका अलायंस है। और आज भी जो आसाम में जो सरकार चल रही है, उस सरकार में उनके 3 मंत्री हैं। तो ये उनका एक रणकौशल है, एक पॉलिटिकल स्ट्रेटजी है कल के फ्लोर टेस्ट के लिए। वो ये कह कर के उन्होंने उनके पास जो आखिरी पत्ता था उन्होंने फेंका है कि शायद इससे कहीं जो यूपीपीएल जो है वो उनके साथ आ जाए। लेकिन यूपीपीएल इस बात को अच्छी तरह समझती है कि जो उनका जो मिसरूल था उसके विरुद्ध में वो लोग फाइट कर करके आज प्रमोद बोड़ो जो है वहाँ चीफ बने हैं। तो आज उन लोगों की उनसे काफ़ी अपेक्षाएं हैं और उनको ये भी पता है कि अगर वहाँ विकास करना है तो राज्य सरकार और केंद्र सरकार की मदद की उनको आवश्यकता पड़ेगी और उनके मार्गदर्शन की उनको आवश्यकता पड़ेगी। तो आज परिवर्तन के लिए बोडोलैंड की जनता ने वोट दिया है और उस परिवर्तन के लिए जो वोट दिया है उसका सम्मान जनाते हुए मुझे नहीं लगता कि यूपीपीएल जो है अब इनका जो इनके झांसे में आने वाला है, इस तरह की इनके जो स्ट्रेटजी है उसमें यूपीपीएल कहीं भी फंसने वाला नहीं है, ऐसा मेरा मानना है।
प्रोफेसर दीपक Basumatary, post the results of the BTC polls, the BJP, the UPPL, the BJP which had gone all out to campaign against Hagrama Mohilary, post the results, the tenor had changed a bit. It was not as aggressive towards Hagrama Mohilary, probably same with the UPPL also to an extent, as it was say during the run-up to the campaigns, which indicated that maybe if things shape up that way, maybe the BJP wouldn't mind aligning once again with the BPF for the 2021 polls. Maybe, very little chances, but you never know in politics. But then by taking this stand, Hagrama Mohilary has clearly appealed that, parties should get together to keep the BJP out of BTR. By doing this, has he further distanced himself from the BJP, or probably he had no other option but to do that?
Yeah, never know what anything is possible in politics. There's a maxim, politicians make strange bedfellows. You never know, what might happen the next day. But it seems for the next 5 years, the BJP and UPPL, they have carved out a certain plan and a strategy for the next 5 years or so. It appears that, from all the electioneering campaigning, that if you remember what Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma had said in one of his election rallies, he had gone all out against Hagrama Mohilary. Okay, not just himself, but all his party leaders, left, right, and center, Hagrama bashing all the time. But if you remember in one rally, he said that you vote to any party but except the BPF. There was a clear indication that there is something amiss or something that, they have some kind of understanding, or say some kind of say they were in the same kind of a wavelength as far as their political vision is concerned for the next 5 years. And I think the plan, they have done all these things keeping in mind 2001 Assam Assembly elections. Basically, here is always in an election mode.
Absolutely.
And they have very well carved out strategy all the time, and it is because of this reason that they have been winning elections one after the other in every part of India. And even here, this small part of Assam, they have given it a much thought. A region which was not much in the limelight earlier now suddenly seems to be in the limelight. It is at the center of their political what's called concern here, and they want to prove how their strength. And they want to see how much they have made inroads into different parts of Assam. From 2016 to 2020, and from here, and what they from the performance they have done here in BTC elections, they might take this as a bargaining chip in the next what is called assembly election, or to re-strategize again what can be done in terms of their political strategy for the next election.
Absolutely. If I can, Raju Narzary, my last question to you. No room for complacency as far as UPPL is concerned, because the BPF will be on its toes at least till the 2021 assembly election. So no room for complacency, even if you have a comfortable majority tomorrow in the council floor. But the politicking will continue, isn't it?
We are not competent. We are for our political seat. For two in Shillong, there is no.
All right, we will have to fix that line with Raju Narzary, but we'll have to take a quick break here. Thank you so much, Professor Dipak Basumatary and Raju Narzary, for joining us on this issue from Kokrajhar. Short break.